Slack and he made you welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the My Type Hype podcast. Thank you for joining us, as always. New boy Slack in the building, and my co-host extraordinaire on my left. What's going on, brother?
Very good, man. We're here. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. Slack's in the house, E Major in the house. Bro, we just got to get into it, man. Bro, we got to talk about this thing, man. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. Let's just give you a short little, you know what I mean, a little episode just to chop it up a little bit about that, man. But first of all, before we jump to what we heard last night, how do you feel about the whole scenario? The diss, the Kendrick verse, the J. Cole's response? How you feeling?
First of all, I won't even call it a diss, to be honest with you. It ain't like these dudes were sending songs back and forth to each other. It's a couple lines of verses. None of them really hit that hard. All this vitriol about, you know, he's apologizing, and it's like, bro. I just think the landscape of hip hop has changed. It's not recognizable from what we're used to.
Yeah.
Like, I can't ever imagine a period of people verbally sparring. Like, there's no threat of violence. There's no ultra disrespectful things being said, and people are talking about he's a bigger man for apologizing. Bro, I don't recognize what hip hop has become. I don't really like what it's become. Because it's got pathetic now, if I'm being honest with you, man. The battle in itself is friendly sparring. Like, they know each other from years ago. They were talking about doing an album together.
Exactly.
That's just like me throwing a light jab at you on Twitter, like saying that you like a Drake album or some shit like that.
Exactly.
Saying and you just be like, oh, but what about you and whatever. It's light-hearted. It's like, okay, he can say Kendrick's album's whack. Okay, cool. Kendrick can say some of your shit's whack. I don't know, man. I think a lot of people have put Cole on a pedestal that I don't think he belongs on, if I'm being completely honest with you, man.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I think Cole comes across as a super nice dude, loads of integrity, respected, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Married, good father. Like, you don't want no much more for, you know, black man representing young black people nowadays.
Yeah.
Perfect. Him as an MC doesn't cut it for me. I don't care what anybody else is into or whatever. I think he's good. I don't think he's great. I think he's good at what he does. But for me, there's plenty more MCs that I would listen to way before I listen to Cole. And that speaks volumes, like, for me personally. So the battle is just lighthearted. Like Kendrick said, it's not the big three, it's big me. Okay. That's how he should feel. He told you lot on Control. He don't rate none of you.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't something new that he's saying. Like, he's told you before, he don't rate none of you. And that's how he should feel. Rock Marcy don't rate none of you either. And none of you are gonna go for his neck, because he'll eat all of you. I don't know, man. I feel like hip hop is low-hanging fruit at the moment. People who don't listen to hip hop have got massive opinions about it. People who don't know the history, they've never listened to battles from the 90s, the 2000s, the 80s even. Do you know what I'm saying? LL Cool J was battling everybody. No one had a problem with it.
Come on, man. Exactly.
You know what I mean? LL Cool J ain't never been shot over a battle, and he battled everyone. It's part of the culture. It's part of it. The dozens, you're talking shit about someone, they're gonna talk shit about you. Like, Eminem's got a whole movie based off this shit, and people are complaining. Like, I don't understand where this soft marshmallow bullshit has come from. It ain't from us. So where's it coming from? It's totally fine for two MCs to say, I'm the best, prove it, and they prove it by rapping back and forth. That should never be an issue in hip hop, ever. So the mere fact it's being discussed just kind of disgusts me, to be honest with you, because I don't understand what's going on and why he feels he has to sit in front of an audience and apologize or retract what he said. Bro, you're nearly 40 years old, and I don't want to bring age into it, to be honest, because that's a really low-hanging argument. The reason I bring age into it is at your age, you should never be peer pressured into doing something. So if it's not in your spirit to respond to him, to that line that he said, then you
shouldn't
don't.
have.
And on top of that, you got his number. So you could just be like, bro, you're crazy for what you just said there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there was no reason for him to respond if it's not in his spirit. So the mere fact that he did respond, you're then open to whatever people have to say. So people said that was whack, bro. That wasn't good. You've left yourself open to that. So because he got that backlash, now he's like, yeah, well, it never really sat right with me anyway. I shouldn't have done it. Bro, you didn't have to say anything. All you had to do was, all right, I responded. That's it. That's the end of it. And it would have been left there.
Yeah. See what comes. Yeah.
But the mere fact that that you're trying to retract what you said now makes you look weak. And you would have looked way stronger if you had just put that out and left it. But you said might delete later. And that is literally a really like
what he's done, yeah.
It's a telling title, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't respect it, if I'm being honest with you, man. I think it's weak for you to do that kind of stuff. And then try and put the onus on the fans who are talking about it. People try to say, oh, you want to see black men go against each other and all this kind of stuff. It's nothing to do with that. This is hip hop. Yeah. This is the culture. This is what rappers do. They go against each other. They rap back and forth. They might say some disrespectful shit, but it don't mean nothing. It's just a rap. You need to say what's gonna make you win the battle, right? I don't know. So 100%. maybe I'm seeing it different to everyone else. Well, actually, no, I'm not seeing it different to everyone else because I know there's a lot of people that feel the same way as me. But it just don't make sense to me, man. And if that's where hip hop is going, where you can't even send a light jab at someone, then I don't know what to say, man. Seriously, it's ridiculous to me. What about you, man? What do you feel?
I mean, same. I mean, it's how the culture started. You know what I mean? It was, but you know, that hip hop's that whole kind of clashing thing, like we spoke about, even with Naps and Jeds on the show. Like that's the nature of what we do. Do you know what I mean? And the culture. When you think about it, you'll have tracks where MCs will be on a track, a posse cut, or they'll be a guest on someone else's track, and blatantly say, "I'm the best MC in the game." You know, or I always think about Jadakiss when he was on a Blackout, and he was like, rappers throw us on their shit to boost their sales, and I'm like, right, how can you say that when you're featured on the next man's song? Like, or even LL, female rappers too. Like, yeah, he's got Foxy on the track. Like, people weren't as sensitive. They're like, listen, of course I respect you, of course I like you, I'm the best at what I do. Like, that's just how you have to see it like that. How many times in boxing you see them, they got all that hype talk. Soon as the fight's done,
shaking hands, hugging.
Because it's the nature of what we do. So for me, like you rightly said at the beginning, Kendrick done that with Control. Hip hop was in a frenzy. Do you know what I mean? He does that, and he's got every right to do that. Like, it's what we do. Do you know what I'm saying? He throws that out. Everyone's like, "Oh, Cole has to respond. Drake has to respond." Drake won't respond, but obviously Cole chooses to respond. Now, I believe in all my heart that he, from the beginning, he didn't want to respond. You see what I'm saying? He did not want to put that out. He put that out to save face. He put that out, I feel, because of peer pressure. Do you know what I mean? He's about to drop his last album. He'll lose so much respect if you don't respond. He had people in his ear, you need to respond. Whether he felt the way he did, I know there's bare confusion about what albums he deemed as number one, as you know what I mean? Is he taking overly dedicated? Is he talking whatever? Whether he felt like how he felt in the diss track, who knows? But he put that out. He didn't want to put that out. So I believe him. It probably wasn't sitting right with him for the last 2 days because he didn't want to do it. Him and Kendrick are cool. He should have just spoke to him. I rate Cole. For me, I prefer Cole to Kendrick if I had to pick. I think they're both elite MCs. But for my preference, I'd rather listen to Cole than Ken. But I feel what's happened in this, Cole's done that, and I put it on my Twitter today. I was like, I respect the maturity because not a lot of people would have done that. They're like, loads of people will say after the fact, I didn't want to do it, rah-de-rah. A lot of people wouldn't have done that. So I respect the maturity of what he done. But it would have been so much better if he just didn't put the track out. Someone responded and it was like, to my tweet, I mean, and it was like, yeah, but it was it's really a lose-lose because if he didn't respond, he could have got dissed, blah, blah, blah. And I agree. But it would have been better if he gave this explanation for why he's not responding. Not that he has to give an explanation. He don't even have to do anything. Exactly. You know what I mean? How much MCs get dissed and just don't respond? Right. It's not worth their time. So, but if anything, he could have said, "Yeah, I've heard this, but I'm not responding because Kendrick's my guy. I rate him. It's not my energy. It's not what I do." I would have respected that more, bro. I'd have been like,
Thank
you know
you.
what?
That's
Kudos. You know what I
exactly
mean?
what
But
I'm
to
saying
drop
as well,
that,
bro.
yeah, to do that and then to go. I mean, at another point, people about you about, what you said about black men against each other and bloodshed and all that. Listen, you know what I mean? 50 G Unit and all them guys beefing with D Block and all that, or you know what I'm saying, like the whole Beanie Siegel, Jada Kiss, all that kind of 50, Fat Joe even. Like there's plenty other times where we could say dangerous grounds. This could actually something could come of this. This wasn't that, bro. Like this wasn't
Exactly.
gonna get physical. No one is gonna pull a gun on no one. This weren't gonna be that. This was just healthy sparring, man. So the fan in me is disappointed because I would have loved to have seen it. We've seen hip hop battles bring out the best in people. And yes, I'm a Nas fan, as people like to say I'm not, but yes, I am a Nas fan and I rate him highly. But sorry, I don't think we would have got the Nas we got from 2001 if it wasn't for Jay Dissonant. He awoke him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get that. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's plenty of times where beef actually brings the best out of MC. So we done a whole episode on beef and battles, man. Some of them are like classic moments in hip hop, bro. Like it gave us classic songs. Obviously, we don't want no one to die over it. But what for the culture, it's great, bro. Like so, yeah, it's a bit weird for me. Do I still respect J. Cole? Highly, and I respect the maturity. But I just feel like he went about this wrong, man. But we'll see what comes of it. We'll see what comes of it.
Yeah,
I tell you one thing though.
Go on.
I don't know what it is about Kendrick, but people don't want to diss him. Like
I
people like
mean,
to apologize when they diss him, boy.
or either they don't want to diss him or they diss him and then they retract it. So something's going on.
That's what I mean, yeah.
But when you think about it, if you think about the amount of MCs that we have now that have been engaged in something, like all of them have been engaged in something. You know what I mean? From all them dudes behind you on the wall have been engaged in a beef.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Bro. Exactly. Exactly.
So what you got? DMX, you got Dre, you got Snoop, LL Cool J, Meth, Cube, all of them have been involved in a beef.
Yeah.
So why is it an issue now? I don't understand. And like you said, if it was going in the direction of I'm gonna have to send some guys for this guy, he's chatting too much.
Yeah.
That is different. That's nothing that anybody would be condoning. Nobody wants to see any rapper get hurt, killed. We've seen way too much of that, and we've done an episode 100%. On the amount of MCs that we've lost over the years. Exactly. Unnecessary. We don't want to see that at all. Nobody does. You want them to live, enjoy their careers, enjoy the fruits of their labor. Yeah, if it's a case of someone telling you in your face, I am better than you, then it's your job to respond the best way you can. And then you let the public decide who the winner is. What is the issue with that? This is hip hop. This ain't pop music. Like all that bullshit that these people are bringing to these conversations, like J. Cole's mature and this and that. If he was mature, he wouldn't have bowed to peer pressure. So don't give me none of that bullshit. He wouldn't have dropped the song. If he was mature and confident in himself, he wouldn't listen to no one else. He'd be like, Kendrick's my boy, and he said he's the best. So what? And he would have left it at that. If you dropped a song tomorrow and you was like, I'm the best, this and that, I'd be like, that's my guy. If he thinks he's the best, he's the best. I ain't gonna send no shots at you. Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Or if I was, I'll call you up and I'll be like, bro, you're talking crazy. So guess what? I
never get that, bro.
So guess what?
They got each other's numbers. These people, man. Yeah, I never get that. They love to bring it to the timeline and to social media and that, bro. If I hear something about someone that I'm meant to be cool with, and we don't even have to be best friends, but to a point where we communicate, well, I'm going to you first. I ain't going to the timeline first. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what's this?
Like that. And the thing that pissed me off the most about it, above everything else, on every song, pretty much, J. Cole is talking like, I'm the best alive. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. All right, then. So now your metal's getting tested and now you want to apologize. Which one is it, bro? So I'm not buying all this bullshit about apologies and respect. This, like, I'm not buying it. If he's saying he's the best rapper, Kendrick has challenged him. No, you ain't.
Yeah.
Then let's see who's the best. It's as simple as that, bro. They don't have to do this psychology and all this bullshit. Like, it's not necessary. It's hip hop
Yeah,
music,
no, I agree.
hip hop culture. People go back and forth. Prove who's the best. Pretty much every MC who's ever rapped has been in a battle. You talk to the amount of rappers who came up. When I was listening to Redman the other day, he's talking about Biz Markie was driving him around boroughs in New York to battle MCs. Like, this is what it is. Why is it an issue now? I don't understand. I really don't get it. And I don't really care to get whatever these people are talking about, if I'm honest with you, bro. Like, I'm over it, man. They should be able to battle and keep it cool. There was nothing disrespectful said. And that should be the end of it, bro.
Yeah. So many people on verses. You think about Cole himself. He's always saying, even on you listen to the Might Delete Later. Can't remember what the track was, but he was talking about all the features he's done and never been out rapped on the track. What if everyone that he's done a feature for took that as a diss and put a diss record out to him? Like, that's the nature of what we do. Yeah. That's he didn't want to do it, and I understand why he didn't want to do it, because Kendrick done nothing wrong, really. Unless there's obviously subliminals and things that obviously go over our head because we're not privy to the relationship, cool. But if you put something out like that, 2 days later, you're feeling like you got to put out some kind of, and then to go as far as to say, if Kendrick's offended by it or upset by it, I'll give him my chin and let him take his best shot. Like, oh, like, nah, bro, come on. So you're telling me now, if Kendrick,
go on.
I was gonna say, so if you're telling me now, if Kendrick responds, you wouldn't even respond to that. So
right, yeah. So it's pointless. I thought it was a toothless battle from the beginning anyway, because like none of them dudes are going to say anything mad disrespectful to each other. So I thought it was just a bit of air anyway. But for me, don't call yourself a first-person shooter if your gun continues to jam. Simple as that. You're going to call yourself a first-person shooter, then you got to be able to back that shit up, and you don't back it up. It's as simple as that. So, there doesn't need to be all this circus around it. It's as simple as it's literally an ABC conversation between two MCs. That should be the end of it. All this hand wringing, crying, Kleenexes getting used up. It's unnecessary, man. It's not needed. These dudes are respectful guys. They don't make murder music. They both make stand-up music. Both of them. So in case of one of them some mad shooter and one of them is a bully and whatever, they're both on a level playing. You know what I mean?
100%.
So there's really I really don't get it, bro. But it kind of shows where we're at now. You know what I mean? We can't even have a battle now without people talking all this nonsense, man. So, but yeah, I'm over it, man. And it looks like J. Cole is too. So we said our piece. I don't think Kendrick's going to revisit it. There's no point. He's got absolutely nothing to gain from it now.
He'd actually lose face if he was to respond to that track now after this apology. He'd actually look
crying now, bro. If people are crying now, imagine how much they'll be crying if Kendrick buried him with another verse and was like, "Oh," they'll be like, oh, "But he said he didn't want the beef, and you got it. And I'm so upset." Like,
exactly. He'd do himself more harm than good. He should just allow it. But for me, I ain't gonna lie, I was excited in a sense where, because I can't really think of any kind of like lyrical battles where I've been lately. I've been like, oh, this should be interesting. Do you know what I mean? So I was interested in it. I think they're both, as I said, two top tier MCs, man. So it'd have been interesting. And I think the reason why I was not looking forward to it, that's a bit lame, but the reason why I was interested in it is because I felt like, there's not really much to worry about with this battle. This ain't going to lead to no one dying. So I thought, this is just going to be purely Liverpool, man. Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, let's go. But, is what it is, man. But yeah, before we just...
I wasn't even looking forward to it because I don't think nothing will come of it that will make me go, oh, like nothing. I don't know. They're not two guys who I would think of coming up with like immense battle songs. I just don't.
They won't be savage. That's what I think.
I don't see either of them as those kind of guys. Do you know what I mean? So it was a nothing battle to me anyway. It was a pillow fight for me. But it would have been, but it just would have been, let's say, interesting to see who would have exactly, if anything. Right. But is it something that I'm like, really waiting for some? No, I wasn't. If I'm being honest with you, but it is what it is. It's over now. Cole squashed it, so it's done.
Literally that, man. But yeah, we touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, man. So short episode, but wanted to drop our 2 cents in. But yeah, keep it peaceful, I guess. We're all about the peace for sure. But we are also about the art of battling, the art of hip hop, people making the best possible verses and music that they can. So it's just a shame that we never really got to see what would have come of it, but it is what it is, man. So as always, drop a comment, all that kind of stuff. Let us know what you're thinking about it, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah, man.
So signing out, your boy Slack and my co-host extraordinaire on my left.
E Major, thanks for tapping in, man. So yeah, this Wednesday, this week, we'll be dropping another episode for you as well, man. So we'll see you then. Until then, man, stay blessed and keep it hype. Peace.